it almost seems unfair that the way you guys have played lately, that you're on that run to the playoffs and then you hit this. How difficult does it make you going forward?
I mean, we've got enough points in front of us. We've got to perform. For us, our home games are really important, but the next two games are against teams that we're trying to track down, amongst other games in front of us. So tonight was obviously an important game because every point matters, and it's against LAFC. I just felt like in the first half we weren't at the speed that we needed to be at for this game. We were just, which is a little bit unusual for the stretch that we've been on, where we were, in my opinion, we were just a little bit behind the game. And two opened up and they were controlling the middle of the field on us, and because of that they could get anywhere they wanted to in the first half, which cost us a lot of energy, and they had a lot of opportunities. Right after their goal, called the guys over just to try to adjust the positions of a couple guys. We were able to make use of it and at least score immediately right back. So we got back to the second half, tried to reorganize a few things. I felt like when it was at 2-2, I actually felt like when the third goal came that we were in reasonable control of the situation. Like I think there were points in the game where we were under it a little bit, but I felt like at that particular stretch we were actually in reasonable control. And then we make a mistake, and then it's 3-2, and now you're really chasing it again for the third time, and that's a difficult task, and it didn't go our way. But I felt like we needed to be at another speed tonight that we weren't at, and we need to move forward and really focus on the next game and make sure we come out on top of the next one.
Did you get a feel in that fourth goal? It looked like he gave advantage when the shooter went down, and then he doesn't call it back.
Yeah, look, for me, it's
3-2 is a different comeback.
Yeah, of course. My comment after the game was, when you have a center back who is driving forward like that and he gets fouled, okay, if it's almost any other player or position in that situation, maybe you think about it. But when a center back gets fouled and is laying on the ground and then it transitions, you're dead on the other side, right? So there has to be, for me, enough common sense to go, center back out of position, gets hammered, is on the ground. For me, this should be a foul and bring it back, and we start the play. But we at least get a chance to protect ourselves if something doesn't go right. Because look, most attacks end in transitions. They don't end in goals or finishing actions, right? And because he was laying on the ground, it then comes back, and we don't deal with it. So, but again, we need to be tighter to beat a team like this tonight, and we weren't at that right level.
What happened with Douglas Costa?
Yeah, Douglas was at the end of training on Thursday. He stuck around and he was just hitting some free kicks for a little while. He left that afternoon. He started to feel tight in his hamstring. So yesterday we tried to just loosen him up a little bit. He was still feeling it today, and we couldn't risk him. Even though this is a really important game, it's not the last game. We have Steven still, and so we tried to see how he would do in warm-ups because he was feeling a little bit better day on day. We don't see anything significant, but I don't want him to get out there and sprint or do something, and then we lose him for the last stretch of the season. So we had to take some precaution on that one.
What does that put him in terms of Wednesday?
Well, the way he's progressed, even the last couple days, he's loosening up, and we're hoping that by not pushing him out there today, that he'll be ready for Wednesday. So we'll know more over the next day or so, sure.
That's sharp.
Yeah, I thought he was isolated a lot. I thought he was on his own too much, which makes it a really difficult task. Great finish on the goal. He shows his experience, I think, in a lot of situations, and his cleverness, the way he moves, and he's able to link. But I felt like he was just really isolated over the stretch, and so it was difficult for us to keep him involved in the game and to give him too many opportunities. We didn't give him many opportunities to really show some of his other finishing qualities, but I felt like his work rate was great. I felt like, again, his experience is helpful for us.
I want to see 2 total finisher goals from him, the type of thing that this team's been missing.
Yeah, I mean, he understands how to move around the field. He's, again, what I think we didn't do well is, in my opinion, as a collective group, is we weren't anticipating and staying in front of the game and ahead of the game and staying in control of things, whereas I feel like he is always like playing the game. He knows what's going to happen next. He positions himself in clever positions in and around the box. He sees little things. So I think, him notwithstanding, I felt like he was doing the job that he needed to do, but the rest of us, not all of us, but some of the rest of us around us we weren't at the same level and speed that we needed to be tonight.
Greg, in terms of that sharpness, where do you think that lack comes from today? Is there anything specific you can pinpoint, or just wearing up, as like you set up for the test?
I don't know. I mean, we'll work on it. Again, this, coming in and this is a big game. I know guys in their heads, they're ready for it, but once the game kicks off, it's making sure you're at the right speed. I know they wanted to be. We just weren't, in my opinion, weren't there. That showed more in terms of our play. I felt like we were a little bit second to some things, even supporting each other sometimes. We were too late to get to the spots to help each other. Second to balls that popped out. We'll talk. We'll try to regroup. Sometimes it happens. You just don't want it to happen in this time in the season and against your opponent, your rival across the way there. So I don't believe this group is going to have two like that. I think we've done a really good job over 11 games, but this is the first one where I felt like we were a little bit slow.
Greg, was it a little off night for Ricky? I mean, we saw him playing way deep in the back, and there was like no chemistry with the other players today. Was that just an off night for him, or LAFC doing a good job trying to take him off the game?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of the collective thing that I was just talking about before. I think our recognition of spaces, when he should come down, when he should stay high. I think also just defensively, he was kind of isolated from the team in the defensive posture, which meant it was hard to find him sometimes, even in transitions. Starting positions defensively are high, then he's coming really low to pick up the ball, which left some gap, in my opinion, between our defending and our attacking. And I agree that not just as a result of him, but as a result of the night, and I feel like not everybody being at the right speed and things, I felt like there were gaps inside of it, which showed some lack of continuity in there as well.
Anything else? Thanks, Greg.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.